How's it going, everyone? This is Mitchell Mander here, and welcome to another review of the Boruto anime. Today we're going to be covering episode 161, which involves Boruto and Konohamaru in disguise. They're heading into a castle in the Land of Silence in pursuit of the Hashirama cell. So if you like this type of content, be sure to like and subscribe, as I have been covering the car Actuation arc since its beginning, and plan to do so until it ends, or at least goes into the hour arc. Anyways, let's get on to that review. The episode begins where last week's episode ended off, in which the Butler had the Hashirama cell already in him, and Konohamaru had to take some drastic measures in this episode, and he used some of the antibodies that was given from Yubina, from Mitsuki's body, to cure him, which instantly cured him from the Hashirama cell. So he thinks that they're the real deal. So he leads them off to the castle of the lady that he's serving. An interesting thing to note here is that this castle has a barrier around it, so if any intruders try to get in, they pretty much instantly die. But the lady that's the head of this castle is supposedly a very beautiful lady. It turns out she's actually not so young anymore. She's actually really old now, and she hates being old. She hates the wrinkles on her face, so she smashes all the mirrors in her castle because she just doesn't want to look at herself. And so she got the Hashirama cell and thinking that it would actually restore her youth. You also go back over a couple times to Yubina and Mitsuki, in which she's actually operating on the girl, and it turns out the antibody works, and she's actually cured of the Hashirama cells. So pretty nice. You also find out, it's actually pretty cruel, but it seems like the lady and the butler actually took that girl and gave her the Hashirama cells as an experiment and let her go loose. So, yeah, screw these people. They get what they deserve towards the end of the episode, but yeah, these people, they're not really that good. So as they head further into the castle, Boruto himself he lands into a trap and gets chained up. And it turns out that the butler dude, he wants Konohamaru in disguise. I forget what the dude's name is now, but he wants him to do a little bit of an experiment before he actually goes to the lady. Because he wants to... The butler wants to restore the miss of the castle, her youth. So he wants to perform a little experiment on Boruto, in which he wants to use the Hashirama cell on him, perform an operation to make him look younger. And Konohamaru's over here is like, you want me to make him into an infant? But anyways, Konohamaru buys some time by having the butler get him some fine wine. So he does this, and the actual real Boruto, the one that's chained up, is a shadow clone. So the real Boruto goes in and infiltrates the castle while Konohamaru enjoys some wine. But anyways, Boruto gets further into the castle and finds the miss of the castle, and it turns out, yeah, she got stabbed in the back of the neck or back of the head with a kunai. Yeah, and she's dead. And you remember those ladies from the previous episode that were trying to get with the medical ninjutsu dude? Yeah, those ladies, they're actually guys. And they're the ones that were actually after the Hashirama cell. So it turns out that Boruto wasn't the only one using the sexy jutsu to seduce this dude. But anyways, yeah. Now Boruto has to contend with these guys. Anyways, the butler is informed that there's a leaf shinobi that's infiltrated the castle and is with the miss. So he heads back, and Konohamaru gets out of his disguise and tries to follow in pursuit. And the butler comes in and finds the miss dead. And Boruto, he seems like to be the culprit because he has a kunai right in his hand because he was fighting those guys. And he sounds an alarm and basically alerts everybody in the surrounding area that, yeah, Leaf Shinobi have murdered the miss. And, yeah, to come and get him. So, all these people are coming after Boruto and Konohamaru. But those dudes with the Hashirama cell now, yeah, they used the poison kunai. They hit the butler in the neck, and yeah, he's dead now. Now Konohamaru and Boruto are in the same room. They're kind of stuck now because, yeah. Now all these people are coming after him, and so the race for the Hashirama cell continues into the next episode as they have to deal with escaping from the castle in the Land of Silence, because there's going to be a lot of people coming after him. And I think this might have some consequences because it turns out that, you know, they announced to everybody that Leaf Shinobi were responsible for this. So I'm wondering if Konohamaru and Fujino and Team 7 are going to get into trouble with Naruto over this if, you know, word spreads about this. Oh, and another thing before I close out in this episode review. So Victor and Deepa actually speaks for the first time in this episode. Yeah, and apparently he's up to something, and Victor tries to deny it. But another thing too is they also reveal, they talk about how a person with the Hashirama cell came to them from a medical organization. So I'm interested to see how Victor is going to be involved in the future events of this series, along with Deepa. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I'll admit that this arc, it's starting to feel like the prison portion of the Mujina Bandits arc, which I don't mind that arc. I will say that my biggest criticism, though, is that the pacing is kind of too slow for my liking. And I feel like the same thing is happening here, because the Hashirama cell, it seems like we're spanning multiple episodes just chasing after this Hashirama cell. And it does feel like it's dragging a bit. I'd like to know in the comment section down below what you think of this arc so far, because I'll admit right now I'm enjoying it, but I will admit that I feel like it's being stretched out a little bit too far. And I'm kind of curious to see how this is supposed to lead into the events in the manga with chapter 16 with the blimp being crashed and Kawaki escaping. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do and how Deepa is going to disappear from the series. But that's all I got for this video, so really not like a whole lot to talk about in this episode. I'm just hoping for the rest of this arc, the pacing gets a little bit better. And it's not that it's bad so far, it's pretty dark so far. There was a couple of deaths in this episode. So, you know, the series is getting into a more darker tone. So I'm curious to see how they're going to handle the rest of the episodes in this arc. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm going to give this episode maybe like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10. It seems like appropriate for this episode. So, how'd you guys feel this episode? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Stay safe out there, everyone, and have a great day. Bye.